Hey, check it out. It's MediaShinobi 2/3. We have Chris reviewing the movie.
Three side.
That is terrible. We have Chris reviewing the movie Kick-Ass 2, which we just watched like
hour ago.
Yeah.
Before we start a review, I would like to do a quick, tiny review of the first Kick-Ass. Yeah, first Kick-Ass, I loved it. It's like one of my favorite comic book movies. I think it's very underrated. I would say it's even more realistic than Batman because people say, oh yeah. Well, if you were like, shut up. Let's say if I were to dress up, like we're not a millionaire, we have no awesome gadgets, just like us and whatever we have as a weapon. And I actually really like that. And I really love the first Kick-Ass for being both funny, great action sequences, and a lot of heart to it. Because, you know, it's like doing what's right, even though you're not a superhero, you have no powers. So now we go on Kick-Ass 2. Basically, Kick-Ass at first gave up being the superhero, but as usual, he got bored. And I know it sounds kind of lazy, but I'm like, yeah, after being a superhero and doing all that stuff he did in the first film, you kind of would get bored too. And Hit Girl is trying to lead a normal life, which is like pretty much impossible for her because, you know, she's Hit Girl. She grew up being Hit Girl. Red Mist, McLovin, he now becomes the new supervillain.
Yeah, which is the name. The mother.
Yeah, the mother. You could probably see a lot of bleeps.
Yeah.
To get it out of our system. And basically he's building an army of supervillains. And basically they consist of, like, you know, thugs, murderers, psychopaths, a Russian lady who's like hella buff and looks like
She-Hulk.
Who looks like the She-Hulk. While he's doing that, while Kick-Ass is going back into becoming a superhero, he meets a couple other superheroes, like Colonel Stripe, played by Jim Carrey, Night Bitch, who's, I don't know who she is, I don't know, but I thought she was just very hot in this movie. They form their own little superhero group. That's basically what the movie is. It's just them trying to solve crime while Hit Girl's trying to be normal because the person who's taking care of her now, her dad's friend Marcus, is now her guardian and doesn't want this life for her. And by the end, we learn that Hit Girl learns to herself that she can't become normal. And Marcus always says, yeah, you never had a childhood. And Hit Girl acknowledges, like, yeah, I never had a childhood, but this is who I'm meant to be. I like being Hit Girl. And at first, she almost kind of became normal, but she can't do it. For being trained by someone by Big Daddy, you can't become a normal hero or normal person. Other than that, I really love this movie. I don't care what the critics say because not many critics like the first one either. So whatever. It really umps the ante, and again, it has a realism where it's just guys, who have just regular skills. They're not multi-billionaires. They don't have fancy tech. It's just them putting on a costume and becoming superheroes. And Colonel Stripes, aka Jim Carrey, he was great in the movie. Me and Jen liked him. I mean, they actually made Jim Carrey pretty much of a badass. I would say, yeah, he was badass. And I also like the fact that we see Hit Girl, you know, trying to be normal, but, you know, not just her. Now, he became much more bad. At first, he's like a regular supervillain, and he's like trying a bit too hard. But as the movie progresses, he really becomes a villain. Like, he gathers a whole posse of bad dudes, or like kind of weird ass names, like the Tumor, the Black Death, which is sort of kind of
racist,
really racist. the Mother Rasha, and some kind of mafia guy. I can't really say much about it. It's the fact that if you like Kick-Ass 1, you're gonna love this movie. It has all the elements, but it just explores the bigger world of other superheroes. And actually, by the end, it actually has a good message. They all give up being a superhero. And they learn that you don't need a mask to become a hero. You don't need to become some kind of vigilante with a costume. You just do what it needs to be done, and that's how you make the world better. That's what they want to do, just make the world better. And that's why I gotta say, it actually worked for this movie, and it wasn't done in a corny way. It was done in like legit way. And I gotta say, the action was great in this movie. But, you know, it was realistic. The fight scenes with the superheroes and supervillains when they all go out, that was cool. Hit Girl was a badass. Again, you know, it's Hit Girl, so she has to be badass. And that's all I gotta say. Now for the negatives in the movie, Jan, you would like to.
It starting off with Jim Carrey. As much as I liked him in the movie, I felt like he was taken out a little bit too fast.
Yeah, and spoiler alert, he dies, and he died pretty early. Like, when he died, the movie kept going. I'm like, whoa, this.
Yeah, it wasn't like halfway.
Yeah, halfway he died. I'm like, oh, that's story-wise. I get why they did it. I'm not. This is like a minor nitpick, but still, we like Jim Carrey's character, and he was pretty cool. But he just got offed off. Like,
Yeah, we were pretty sure that he was gonna die. Like it's kind of like what they did with Nicolas Cage.
yeah,
A big star. It's
Yeah.
unlikely that they will return to the next movie.
yeah.
But I just like I stated, it just felt like he was taken out too fast.
Another big thing, I was like, whoa, well, out of left field. Like when Kick-Ass broke up with his girlfriend from the first movie, I'm like, that came out of left field. She became a total bitch in this one, even though she had like one line in this movie, and she thought that Kick-Ass was getting it on with Hit Girl because they've been spending a lot of time together, even though they were just training. And all of a sudden, she just comes out of nowhere, slaps him, and she knows who he is. She knows he's Kick-Ass. And he said, yeah, it's Kick-Ass business. Like, it's Kick-Ass business. And she said, yeah. And she mentioned about a guy she probably slept with that had like a 7-inch long dick or something. I don't know. And I felt like that was really left field because they seemed to really get it on in the first movie. I thought that was like, whoa. I don't know. I kind of just rubbed me the wrong way. Because I know in the comics she was a bitch in the comics. But they changed it up for the movie. And I felt that, did they rub you the wrong way? And
I just said like, oh, okay, that was fast.
yeah, I know.
Like no, because that was in the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah, right beginning. They break up.
The first movie built the whole relationship, and then just
They're gay BBFs.
Yeah, and then they just like off the relationship that fast.
Yeah, so I was like, that was kind of weird and out of nowhere. I guess I would say it's a minor nitpick because it didn't really reflect on the story that much. But still, I felt that was weird. And also, some of the cast members are different. One of Kick-Ass's friends, and the police guy, they got someone else. But, I don't care much casting because they're not very main characters, so they didn't have as much screen time, so that didn't really bother me. Other than that, can you think of any other nitpicks or whatever?
Nitpicks.
Or any problems with the movie?
We had another one.
I know, I
can't remember.
And this, I don't know if I consider this is a personal thing for me and Jan, the fact that by the end of the movie, Hit Girl and Kick-Ass, really legitimately kiss. And it was kind of weird because I mostly saw it as a brother-sister thing, relationship. I really prefer that, but I'm pretty sure it was like for Hit Girl, like a minor crush at least.
Oh yeah, it was a minor crush.
But it felt kind of weird because of the fact that Hit Girl is like 15 in this movie.
Yeah, it's just I still see you as a little girl. It's just weird to see you in that position now.
Yeah, and it wasn't like a kiss like no.
It was a peck.
I don't know. It just felt weird.
I mean, I could see myself getting over it eventually. It's
yeah,
that moment I was just like, whoa,
yeah. And I prefer Kick-Ass being with that new chick. I don't know.
Night.
Yeah, Night. Yeah, I like her. She's pretty cool. But yeah, other than that, that's the only major problem with the movie. Like, critics coming in this movie, they should know what to expect. Just people dressing up in costumes and being superheroes, but without the special effects of flying around or superpowers and stuff like that. If I had to rate the original Kick-Ass, I'd give it an 8. And I give this movie an 8.5. They're both really good movies. It's hard to decide, which is good, Both movies need to be very good. It's hard. I don't mind having a hard time deciding between which one. What about you, Jeff?
I agree. 8 for the first one, 8.5 for this one.
But other than that, yeah, it is legit. I think I like this more than the Wolverine. Yeah, I like this movie than the Wolverine.
Wow.
I'm not saying I hated the Wolverine. No, I didn't say that. I'm just saying I like this movie more. But then again, I like this movie more than Iron Man 3 also. So go watch it if you're a fan of the first one. Pretty much everything you want in the first one is in the second one, but different. And I think it's much darker also because of all the bad stuff that keeps happening to Kick-Ass. So that's what I gotta say. Great movie. Check it out if you're a fan. I'm gonna read the comic book soon, and I heard they're making a Kick-Ass 3 comic, so who knows? We might get a Kick-Ass
I wouldn't mind.
movie. It's kind of weird the fact that Kick-Ass and the Kid Girl in the comic, she stays the same age. But you can't help it because,
Well, yeah.
And all the actors, again, play their parts well. Like, Kick-Ass, Hit Girl, Colonel Stripes, and of course, the mother. And so, that's it. So this is MediaShinobi signing out. Peace.